In the muscle up, strength is important, but it's not enough. You also need the right technique. And after years of analyzing and training this movement, I wanted to share the most important things I've learned. First, how strong you should be, second, the optimal setup, and third, the right execution. Now let's get into it. 1. The requirements. If you can complete around 10 to 11 pull-ups, then chances are you're strong enough for the muscle up. You certainly have the strength base to start learning it and experimenting with the technique, but that number could be lower and it could be higher. The reason pull-ups work as an estimate is because the muscle up is primarily pulling, but the reason they're also imprecise is because you're pulling straight up and down, and that's not what we're doing in the muscle up. Here we need to move around the bar, and that requires us to lean back and create some distance. Otherwise the bar will stop you in your path. So it's not uncommon for someone to do a lot of pull-ups but struggle to transfer that strength if they're not used to leaning back and pulling explosively. Because of that, a better indicator is to perform just a single explosive pull-up. If you're able to bring your lower chest at around the height of the bar, you should already be strong enough. Now moving on to the setup, and here you want a hand placement of about shoulder width apart, and as a guideline you can bring your arms close into your sides and then lift them straight overhead. In most cases this is what works best for explosive pulling. Besides that, you also want a deeper grip than normal, so instead of hanging from your fingers, you want to rotate your knuckles upwards until they're pointing to the sky. This activates muscles in your forearm and it reduces the amount of rotation needed to get over the bar. So a very important step. And from here you have two options. The first is to start from under the bar, take a step back and then jump into the movement. This you can do almost anywhere, but you do need to catch the bar and land in the right setup, which can be tricky to do consistently. The second option is to begin from an elevated surface. This allows you to make the setup beforehand and get the same starting position every time. It's preferred, but if you don't have that option, jumping into it can work just fine. Moving on to the technique, the first step is to swing through the bar until your body is about diagonal. You can do a smaller swing like the 30 degrees shown here, but even though it looks better, it's not quite as strong a starting point. And while this is just the first step, a lot of people already get in trouble. See, if you're used to pull-ups, it'll feel natural to drop into a dead hang. But for the muscle up, you need to stay tight and really let the momentum carry you forward. Next, at the end of the swing, you want to fully stretch out your entire body, almost like a spring getting loaded before it snaps back. And a neat little trick in order to do this is to imagine hitting a button with your toes. This forces the tension and emphasizes the point where the momentum starts shifting. From there, the next step is the actual pull, and this begins the exact moment the swing changes direction. Do it too early and you'll still be going forward, pull too late and you've lost your momentum. So getting this timing down is key, even though it takes a bit of practice. And if you're working on the kipping muscle up, which typically is the first goal, this is also when you quickly drive your knees upwards, meaning both the pull and the kip starts at the same time. To get a feel for this, I recommend that you try out these swinging kips. Here you focus on the swing reversing, then generate as much momentum as possible before re-entering the bottom position. Next, as you continue pulling, aim to keep this same tilted body position. As you can see, we want the swinging angle and the pulling angle to be quite similar. That's because if you end up pulling too close to the bar, it becomes an obstacle leading to chicken wing muscle ups, and if you're too far away, you get a longer traveling distance, making the rip inefficient. So try to aim for about diagonal. But again, getting this down takes some time and muscle memory. And to practice it, a good tool is to start doing your pull-ups diagonally. This is also just a great way to build a specific strength, and I highly recommend them in your program using a resistance band if needed. From there, the last part is the transition. The transition is often a bit tricky as it can be divided into a lot of technical components, but my recommendation is that you don't actually do this, because your body will naturally lean in at the most efficient point if you don't over monitor the movement. However, you need to know two things. First, your wrist must do a quick rotation when the momentum is going up and forward. And second, in the beginning, the faster you can do the transition, the better. To help yourself, you can imagine giving a headbutt forward when your lower chest is at the height of the bar, like you're trying to shatter a glass wall with your head. This will give you the fast motion you need, and don't worry about dipping fluently in the beginning. Start by simply landing on the bar with your lower chest and then do the dip afterwards. So overall, you want to have 4 technical cues in mind. In my opinion, adding more is not really helpful because focusing on too much at once usually just makes it harder. Now, if you're interested in my programs to train for skills, endurance or weighted calisthenics, I've put the link in the description. And I also quickly want to mention that if you're looking for some new calisthenics equipment, my sponsors at Gonation have some very high quality options. You can use my code Jacob10 for 10% off. I've put the link in the description. That was it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully it was helpful, and I will see you in the next one.